I want to talk about in this video a little review of the services that I do offer at ClayTrader, and what exactly do I sell? What am I trying to accomplish? What am I actually offering to you? And I want to do this because, and I totally understand why, but a lot of people throw stuff at me or they're asking questions, and all these questions, all these accusations revolve around things that just are not true. And I thought, you know what? Why don't I just do a video so that instead of trying to explain all this, I can just link these people to the video. And then for you, if you're wondering, yeah, Clay, I see you offer, programs and services, but what are you selling? And what I am selling is this, is here you are, you want to learn trading. So well done to you. You're new, you realize that you need to learn, you realize that there's a lot of stuff that is unknown. And believe it or not, that's actually a step that a lot of people never take. But you want to learn trading, and what you have the choice of is, well, right over here. We have this thing known as the internet. The internet's awesome, the internet's fantastic, and the internet has all sorts of information out there. And what I sell is nothing new. What I sell is not a get rich quick. What I sell is not a system, is not a bot, is not a, hey, I have it all followed, so follow me, follow my strategy, follow my system. That is not what I am selling. That is not what I am offering. What I am offering is this. And to understand it, let's just set up a little context. The internet has a bunch of information, right? You understand that. But here's the problem. The internet has a lot of information. The problem is a lot of that information is actually bad. You have all these little dots out here. The red ones there, the pink ones, whatever it looks like to you on camera. That's information, and it's not necessarily bad, but maybe it's incomplete, which therefore you could argue makes it bad. So I'm not saying any of these bits of information is malicious. I'm not saying that a person, a site is trying to purposely mislead you. Now, in some cases, that could be the case, but not in every case. That'd be an over-exaggeration on my part. But there is a bunch of bad information out there, incomplete information. And I want to really, emphasize, just because there's not malicious intent behind it, that doesn't mean that the information's not bad. They could have good intentions, but still be giving bad information. And I see that all the time. And I understand, I applaud you, hey, they're trying to help, that's great. But sorry, that's actually kind of true. So again, incomplete information, that is all over the place. Now, to be fair, there's also good information out there. These green dots, there's some information that's like, yeah, well said, yeah, spot on. Yeah, absolutely. But here's what I am selling. Here's what I offer. I'm offering the chance to be able to just pluck all these out. So to get the good bits of information and then bring them down here, because that's only part of it, right? Let's just say that you're like, well, no, Clay, it's all for free out there and fine. And I'll give you this benefit too. Let's say you're actually able, and I don't know how you'd ever pull this off, because when you're new and you don't know what you don't know, how would you ever know to do this? But let's just say somehow you get lucky and you pluck out all the good bits of information. You still have a huge, huge problem. And this is what I sell. Even if you were to do that, you have, when it comes to structure, well, you don't have any. You don't know what order to learn things in. Should you learn about this before that? Or should you learn about this other thing? The example I always use is, let's say you're able to pluck all the good bits of information out there about math. All right, that's good. Every bit of information you have is about math. But let's say you start to learn about trigonometry before you learn about addition, and then you learn about calculus, and then you move on to subtraction, and then you move on to differential equations, and then you come back down here to, division. Like, yeah, you have all the right number, but if you don't learn about it with structure, if you don't learn about it in the way that's going to make the most sense, well, all you're going to do is be overwhelmed. All you're going to feel is randomness, even though you do still technically have all the good information. And again, that actually assumes that you're able to pluck out all the good bits of information. All it takes is all these good information and then a couple bad data points, and then that's a whole headache in and of itself. So what do I sell? Well, I actually sell a process of learning, right? Meaning structure. Meaning, hey, you know what? Everything that I'm teaching you, I admit, it's out there on the internet. I'm not going to sit here and try to make it sound like I have some sort of secret system or secret anything that I've discovered. Absolutely not. You can, how I trade, what I teach, everything can be found there on the internet. But what I'm doing is taking and putting a process behind it, putting structure behind it. And if you like the way I explain things, I'm also explaining things in the way, that I explain things. So that's why I tell people, hey, if you like my YouTube videos, if you like the way I explain things, then yeah, you're gonna like the process, or then you're gonna like what I have to offer, because it's that same, explanations of things, but just in a very structured process, which makes learning that much easier. So no, do I have some sort of magical system? Have I made some sort of great discovery? No, I haven't. I am teaching. I am using stuff that you can find out there on the internet for free. But when it comes to finding the information and then organizing it in a systematic way that actually sinks in and is allow you to understand what you're looking at, of course, anything is possible. But if it were that easy, I think we'd all agree success rates would be a little bit higher than 10%, right? I mean, some people say it's a 95% failure rate. But regardless, just something to keep in mind, but I want to be very clear about this. So please don't sign up thinking that I'm selling some sort of, hey, I signed up for your stuff, Clay. I paid you money. I'm ready to have your system figured out in the next, 15 days. I get it from a sales perspective, from a marketing perspective. That's a very easy sales pitch to make. Hey, I got it figured out. Let me show you what I discovered, and this discovery is nowhere else. No, that sounds cool. But that's not actually the reality of how trading, actually works in the real world. So yeah, this is what I sell. If you want a structured process of learning, if you want to know that what you're learning about is valid and that it's being taught to you in a way that makes sense, and I've been doing this since 2013. So through feedback, I fine-tuned it. It wasn't always perfect, but I mean, at this point, from all the feedback I've gotten, I now have things organized in a way where I know it's going to make the most sense for you over time. So just consider this. If you're looking for structured learning, if you're looking for a process of learning that's going to make the most sense and be the most efficient, help you out in the quickest way, then consider what I have to offer you, because that is what I sell. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up, as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.